Let's talk about the most dangerous problem in the agency space. The one that has agency owners plateauing for years and affects people making $5,000 a month, even $30,000 a month with their agency. And you know what? It might even be slowly crippling your agency as we speak. How do I know it? Well, I experienced the exact same thing while trying to scale my agency. Let's take it back to 2017. I was making $15,000 a month with my creative agency, and scaling past that mark was really just a matter of serving more clients. Now, in order to serve more clients, I needed to hire more people. And as I hired more people, that would cut into my margins. So the more I scaled, the thinner my margins. Now, the thinner my margins, the more clients I needed. And with more clients, I needed more people. And with more people, thinner margins. You can kind of see how this becomes a very, very vicious cycle pretty quickly. In order for me to break free of it, I really needed to take a step back and reassess the model. I ended up completely ripping apart my content creation agency and pivoting and starting an advertising agency. And it was really only after this 360-degree shift that I was able to break away from 15K months and hit 30, 50, 80, and even 100K months profit with my agency. Now you might be saying to yourself, so the big problem here must be having a content creation agency rather than an advertising agency. That must be it, right? No. No, God! Problem is far, far, far deeper than that. And being stuck between the $5,000 to $30,000 a month mark with your agency is simply a symptom of the root cause of the growing pains of your agency. And if you don't identify and fix this problem fast, it will get you stuck in the same plateau for months, maybe even years, until it is so ingrained in your agency that it breaks the business, or until you get to a point where you completely give up on agency full stop. Luckily, the same problem is actually quite a simple fix. And the sooner you identify it, the easier it will be to tackle. So in this video, I'm going to show you what this problem is, the 4 areas of your agency that it can actually manifest in, how to identify the areas it's currently being affected in, and how to actually tackle each one of these using the agency growth SOP toolkit that I've prepared specifically for this video. And by the way, no, it's not for sale. I'm going to show you how to get it for free in just a minute. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Iman Gadzhi, and I actually started my agency coming up on 6 years ago, and it's been steadily over the 7-figure-a-year profit mark for the last 3 years. Now, coming back to what I was talking about earlier, here's what actually leads to this big problem within agencies. Now, after finding a thriving niche and offer and getting their first 5-figure months, most agency owners start transitioning from the experimentation phase, where they're experimenting with different niches, services, and offers, to the scaling phase where they double down on what's working. Now, imagine that you are probably in the scaling phase. Now, during the scaling phase, most people try to do the same thing that got them to where they are right now. And you know, it makes perfect sense, right? If you manage to get to $10,000 a month doing something, then you might as well replicate that same process to hit $30,000, $50,000, even $80,000 months with your agency. Well, not really. And although this is a totally logical way to view things, it's the exact reason why you're stuck right now. Why? Well, the actual problem is you skipped a step. You went from experimentation phase to scaling phase without realizing that there's a step between, and that is the foundations phase. Skipping it means that most likely you have some deep foundational issues with your agency. And when you get to $10,000 a month and up, these foundational issues become your agency growth blocking factors. They create bottlenecks that will block the growth of your agency and really put a cap on the sort of numbers that you can hit. These growth blocking factors that are caused by skipping that foundational phase can actually manifest in 4 different areas: client acquisition, client retention, team building, as well as offer. And I'm going to show you how to actually identify which one of those areas it's affecting in your agency in just a second. The point is that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So no matter how well structured the above areas of your agency are, you'll always only be as big as your tightest bottleneck. And the longer you wait to fix it, the tighter that bottleneck gets. And that's why after reaching the $5,000 to $15,000 a month mark with their agencies, most agency owners go in a downward spiral that they can never free themselves from. Now, if you skip this step and went straight into scaling phase of your agency, don't worry. Pretty much all of the 7-figure agency owners I've spoken to went through the exact same thing. So it just means that you are headed in the right direction. And as long as you fix those foundational issues, you'll be good to go. And the good news is, once these foundational issues get amended, these so-called growth blocking factors, as I call them, once fixed, these things will actually be the propellant for you to actually go ahead and grow and scale your agency. So what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to take a step back and head back into the foundational phase in order to address some of these issues. And once we've done this, amended these patches, then what you're going to have is a scalable agency, an agency that you can actually grow to over $100,000 a month in profit. And by the way, if you want free access to the agency growth toolkit that I'm going to be referencing a lot in this video, this is very, very, very nitty gritty specific information on how to actually apply everything that I'm going to be showing you in this video. All you have to do is message me the word toolkit on my Instagram, and I'm going to go ahead and send it your way. Now, before you do that, just go ahead and drop me your email and phone number, and it'll actually go ahead and reveal my Instagram page. So that way I can go ahead and send this over to you after this video. Now that's out the way, let's get back into training. So I have a question for you. Is selling in your agency predictable? It's by asking yourself this question that you identify the first of the 4 growth blocking factors that's stopping you from reaching 7 figures with your agency. If you can't tell if selling is predictable in your agency, then ask yourself this question. At the times when you want to step on the gas pedal in order to sign more clients for your agency, do you have a lever that you can pull?
Pull the lever, Kronk.
In order to book appointments on demand. Look, in the long run, it is not sustainable to be sending hundreds of cold outbound emails, messages on LinkedIn, email, etc., etc. This is an incredible way, and 100% works when you're, getting to 10, 15, maybe even $20,000 a month with your agency. But after that, you need to build systems, processes, and really streamline your agency. This will set the foundation in order for you to scale. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself how the fastest growing businesses on earth really hack their growth? Well, it's actually quite simple. They just pay their way to get new clients. They raise capital and then they use this capital in order to grow. Now, they usually do this through advertising, influencer marketing, financial, incentives in order to sign up with them. And usually they do this at a steep loss with the hope that in the future, customers will be worth more than what they paid for. Now, if you cannot pay your way in order to get new clients, then you will always be a slave to manual outreach. And client acquisition will always be the biggest growth blocking factor in your agency. Now, there is a better way. I've come up with and implemented in my own agency a proprietary system that not only allows you to pay your way in order to get new clients, but also do it at an incredible margin. And that's actually what I've implemented step by step in the first SOP of our toolkit. With the system for the first SOP of the agency growth toolkit, you'll be able to get clients on demand, but without having to raise capital and at a profit rather than a loss. Now, after you implement the system in your agency, you'll have more leads than you know what to do with. So once again, if you want to access this as well as the rest of the SOPs, just go ahead and message me on Instagram, the word toolkit, and I'll go ahead and send them your way. You can click the button down below and it'll redirect you to my Instagram profile. Now, there's one thing you want to be aware of when using this system. If you don't fix growth blocking factor number 4 that we're going to talk about later in this video, it doesn't matter if you implement this system from the SOP, you're not going to get any results. In fact, you might even hurt your agency because you will be working at full speed on the client acquisition pillar of your agency, while at the same time stepping on the brake pedal on another important pillar of your agency. So if you want to avoid that happening, make sure you stick around for the rest of the video. Now, it doesn't matter how many clients you get for your agency if you cannot keep them around. I think, pretty much everyone knows that. You see, most people may consider that they don't even have this problem in this agency when they most certainly do. That's why client retention is the second growth blocking factor in the foundational phase. Now, here's how to identify this one. You see, if investors were ever investing in your agency, the first thing that they would look at is your churn rate. They would look back 1 year and see the number of clients that you had back then. Then they would look at how many of those clients are still with you today. Now, if more than 10% left you, you have a churn problem and you're gonna have a very difficult time selling your agency. Now, this is how you actually identify if this is a growth blocking factor in your agency. Now, what most agency owners never figure out is the reason why their clients actually left them. Now, whether you wanna sell your agency in the future or not, it doesn't matter. If you want to scale your agency past the 6-figure mark and take it to the 7-figure mark, you need to address this issue. Now, one of the easiest ways to figure out why clients leave you is by asking yourself this question. Has there ever been a scenario where you have gotten your clients incredible results, yet it seems like they made some weird excuse and they just left for some reason? And you're just left there wondering why. Well, there is a very good reason for this. If this is happening to you, then I can almost guarantee that you are manually billing your clients. And this is why people get puzzled when I say that I would rather pay Stripe 3% in merchant fees. And I spend $30,000, $40,000 a year on just Stripe processing fees for my agency. And the reason I do this is because when I have clients card on file, I can go ahead and auto bill them every month. And this has a profound psychological effect on the interaction. Let me explain. I'm sure you guys have products or services that are auto billed every month that you haven't used in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, sometimes even 3 years, because you could have canceled. But the idea of canceling, it just seems like a lot of work when you just automatically getting billed every month. Well, that's really the beauty of auto billing. It's effortless. Now, since you never have to think about paying for it, you never think about canceling it either. Now, the opposite is true when you are manually billing your clients. You see, every time you bill them, I refer to it as every recall is a reframe. Every single time they're manually paying, whether you're getting them good results or not, they're going, I don't know if this is worth it, right? They are just, reassessing whether they want to continue their relationship with you or not. It said, even if you're getting them incredible results and they're having a great time, just a simple act of manually billing a client could cripple a relationship that started so well. And it's with this issue that I created that second SOP, which is how to actually reduce client churn with smart automated billing systems. Now, inside of it, you'll find a step-by-step system on how to actually implement this, so that way your clients never have to think about paying you again. And you'll be able to set it up so that way they put their card on file and it just auto bills every single month, just like Netflix, just like Spotify. So once again, if you want access to the 3 SOPs that I've mentioned, just go ahead and message me Toolkit on Instagram and I'll get that sent over to you. Now, after sorting out their client acquisition growth blocking factor, a lot of agencies really start picking up momentum and start signing clients left to right. And soon they realize they don't even have enough hands in order to fulfill all of the incoming demand. So they quickly find themselves working 16-hour days and still not having enough time in order to properly serve all their clients. And then this reflects in their client results. They start getting bad client results, some clients leave here and there, and they start seeing their agency go into a downward spiral, or even worse, break entirely. And this is why it is so important to hire A1 talent. This will give you the bandwidth necessary in order to scale. And as the saying goes, you should work on your business, not in it. And I'm sure you've heard that before, but if you've actually ever tried to hire a team that allows you to remove yourself from your agency, you know that it's easier said than done. So if you've ever gone through the process of hiring employees, you know that one of the biggest challenges that you will face when running an agency is finding good talent. And there's a lot of people out there looking for agency jobs, but it is a needle in a haystack when finding incredible talent that's good at what they do, but there's also a culture fit and that you can truly trust. And if there's one thing that I can say and really, attribute a lot of my agency's success to, it's the fact that I'm really good at finding talent. And not only finding them, but keeping them happy and keeping them at my company for years. I am very proud to say that I've never had anyone leave my agency. Now, one of the questions I get asked by students the most is, how do you find such good employees? Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I have a very, very comprehensive guide on how to actually vet for these people, because quite frankly, it's not just about technical skills. For me, really, I'd say that's 30% of the equation. The other 70%, and really where I have a great understanding, is understanding personality types, understanding culture fit, and synergy. Now, I've actually gone ahead and documented this entire hiring process, as well as where I find the best candidates on earth for these positions, in the 3rd section of the Agency Growth SOP Toolkit. Now, inside of it, you'll be able to see behind the scenes of how I actually find such incredible talent and the places that I post the job offers in order to get such high quality applicants. Now, if you want access to it, you already know what to do. Go ahead and message me the word toolkit on Instagram. Now, important question to ask yourself is, how do I actually make more money with the same amount of clients? Asking this question led to more breakthroughs in my agency than pretty much anything else. That's because such a question will force your brain to come up with creative ways to charge more for your service. And after spending a bit of time thinking about it, you'll come to one realization, that the only way to charge more is by providing more value to your clients. Now, value comes in different forms, whether that be more followers on Instagram, a better funnel, whether that be, some better results with email marketing campaigns, some better CTRs, whatever that is. But the ultimate form of value is how much, clear cut, there's no debates about it. It's very black and white. How much money have you made your client? Make your clients more money and they will happily pay you more, and you can command higher billables. Now, this leads us to the next obvious question. How can I actually go ahead and make my clients more money? And that's how we get into the 4th growth blocking factor in the foundational phase. And this is usually most often overlooked, and this has all to do with your offer. Now, there's 2 sort of offers that you can have. You can have an ROI offer and you can have a convenience offer. An ROI offer is something that is trackable and has some sort of clear-cut monetary return, whether that be Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, email marketing, something where there's a clear-cut return on investment. And a convenience offer, on the other hand, is something that, doesn't make any money, but does save the business owner a bit of time and a bit of convenience. An example of that would be social media management or, content creation, etc., etc. And, if you're a branding agency, you can make a case that, the new visuals of your company, will lead to, more sales and, this and that. But the issue is you can't pinpoint exactly how much you made your client. And in the agency world, the real money is made on performance deals. You can make a lot of money by making your client a lot of money, tracking how much you made them, and then taking a percentage of that. And really, it's just a matter of knowing the right way of structuring your performance incentives within your billing model. And that's why I created the last 2 SOPs of the toolkit. Yes, I said 2. The first one is how to actually package a high converting offer for your agency. And the second is how to actually structure a revenue maximizing billing model for your agency. So this SOP will actually show you how to structure and implement these performance deals in order to make substantially more money with your agency. So after fixing each one of these growth blocking factors, you would have successfully completed the foundational phase of your agency. This means that you now have a scalable agency. You have something that you can actually scale past the $100,000 a month profit mark because it has a predictable and consistent system for getting new clients, a single-digit client churn rate, an offer that allows them to charge high-ticket prices, and an 8-player team that can take care of service delivery. Now, if you too want to have a scalable agency and break away from the biggest growth blocking factors that are holding you down to your current revenue level, as I said, make sure you message me on Instagram and I'll go ahead and get that toolkit over to you. Now, inside of it, I've not only gone ahead and included all of the SOPs that I've mentioned in this video, but I've actually gone ahead and provided an additional training video called the Agency Scaling Masterclass, where I'm going to talk a little bit more about, now that we've identified the biggest growth blocking factors, how to actually alleviate them from your agency. So when you use this, that video is kind of more of like a high level summary of what to do. And then the SOP, you're going to get the very, very nitty gritty details on how to actually execute and implement this stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, as I said, go ahead and message me toolkit on Instagram. I'll go ahead and get that free resource over to you ASAP. Make sure you go through SOPs. Make sure you watch that additional free training I've gone ahead and created for you. And I'm looking forward to receiving your message on Instagram.